Hey everyone. So my name is Yasmin, and today we're just doing a live stream to talk about and share how we created our chatbot for Ingrid. Now, Ingrid is many things, and this is part of a collaborative residency that we're having with Arbeit, and we've got over 20 people involved with this residency. And today would be is the start of this week's theme, which is called Shifting Chronology. And to put it to condense what this theme is, it's sort of the fact that we have so many different narratives interwoven within ourselves and our residency, and all these voices can change the way that we look and understand things. So this session is just going to be really relaxed. I'm going to show you guys how our bot looks so far at the moment. And then I'm going to walk you guys through what all of these mean. And then I would really love to do some live coding and some changes with, and we can brainstorm with some of the people that are part with me in the call. And then we can keep growing and see what all of these interwoven voices will look like within Ingrid. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, and I'll show you guys what we've been up to. All right. So on the left, I've got just what the chatbot is looking like on a live server. And then on the right, I've got the chatbot text file, or the brain, on the right side. So I just quickly wanted to say that you don't have to play with Rivescript on your computer and download it. You can also play with it online. So I'll show you that real quick. If you type in play.rivescript.com, I think that's right. And then this will take you to a place called Rivescript Playground, where you can just do things and change code on the browser. And you can run it and then say things. And it's really quick and easy way to do it without having to download anything. So I'll take you guys through what Rivescript is. And Rivescript has very simple you get user input, and then the bot, we hard code in some ways what the bot responds with. And you can kind of make the bot look like it's quite intelligent depending on how complex you make it. So I'll start off with just walking through what we've done so far. So we've got a huge list of substitutions. Now, obviously, as we create our brain, we know that users are not going to be typing so-called properly. They'll be shortening words and things like that. So that's why we've decided that we're going to make substitutions. So I'm will turn into I am and things like that. So that's quite self-explanatory. And these subs can change to a lot of other things. Maybe we could even substitute like a smiley face. So it could be sub, and let's say a user just inputs a smiley face like that, and we can make that equal to a word like happy. And then what these words are what's going to be put in as triggers for our bot. So that's just an example of how we can use substitutions to kind of make it you can make it way more widespread. So it's not as if you're just going to be, it's not as if when someone types I'm sad, the bot will understand by substituting it, if that makes sense. Now, there's this section over here which is bot identity, where we can actually create variables for the different parts of our chatbot. Now, I've added quite a few random things that I think I would love for people to change it up, because I've done it so that, the bot name is Ingrid. I've made it so that Ingrid is located in the Mariana Trench, and that Ingrid likes Niels Fromm, and Ingrid's favorite author is Karl Marx. So I kind of got these little things, and I'll show you guys how where the user can actually ask, oh, what's your favorite author? What's your favorite book? Your favorite color? And then it will take these bot identities, and we can make the bot identities basically limitless. And then we can kind of grow Ingrid's personality in this way as well. Yeah, so to quickly demo what bot identities could look like, I'll show you guys right now. So let's say I want to code the user to input what is your favorite author, and then I'll write, and then the bot will output this Karl Marx, but we won't be saying Karl Marx, we'll be putting it inside this variable called author. So I'll show you guys down here where I've decided to put in the bot identity. So if you see here, we've got these bot identities where the variable starts off with saying bot, and then the variable name of the identity. So I'll show you guys how we can do what is your favorite, and I change between the American and the British spelling quite often. So this is the syntax to make it either or. So I don't actually know the name of that key, but that kind of means that the user can input either of these spellings and it will work. And then we'll do author. Now, one thing to remember is that everything is lowercase, and there are no question marks or things like that. So if you do put a question mark or you capitalize anything, there will be an error in the code. So that's important to remember. Now, the user is asking, what is your favorite author? And then Ingrid could reply saying, Ingrid can literally just say, what author, without saying anything else. Now I'm going to save this code. And then on the left, let's check out what happens when you ask, what is your favorite author? And then the Ingrid just puts out the variable itself. Now you can say, now we can make it a bit more interesting by saying, what author is my favorite? Or you could say something like, what author is sublime? Or what author changed my life? So, changed my life. So a user input can have multiple outputs from the chatbot. So the syntax is very simple, where if you want the user input, you just do the plus, and then a dash is for the output. So if I do, what is your favorite author? And then it will say Karl Marx is sublime. And if I repeat that, let's see if it will pick a different option like that. Now, you might have noticed that I typed in fave instead of favorite. And if you remember, the save is one of the substitutions that I've made at the top of the code. So what is kind of good is that we can kind of think about all of the possibilities of shorthands that people use to kind of make the bot more adaptive, because the problem is that there's so many options, right? That we're hard coding what the bot is going to say, and that if we don't have any possible options that we've coded, then the bot won't really give any interesting responses. So we could pick, so that kind of gets the bot identity and how we can use variables for the bot identity. So I'm just gonna go up and show you some more of the code. So we've got something called trigger arrays, and arrays are just lists of things, to put it simply. And we've got arrays for greetings, questions, and colors. And the way that these greetings work is shown down here, where it kind of, this is what we put the arrays of lists is kind of to predict what the user is going to say. So if the user inputs any of these greetings, then we'll code the responses that we want. So let's do a howdy. Let's see what kind of response that Ingrid will give us. Now, Ingrid gives us this introduction response, which is part of all of these responses here. Another part that makes Rivescript interesting as well is that we can put different weights to different outputs, different responses. So because this output saying, my name is Ingrid, but I'm not your guide here, this weight is 50, whereas some of the other weights are a lot smaller. So because it's weighted a little bit higher, it's more often to be said. So it might actually take a while. Oh yeah, so then it switches to a different response. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the things, is that we can have many different arrays that we use to have different inputs. Now we have the arrays of colors, and it's only hard coded a very limited amount of colors, but I'll show you where they use the how we use the colors. Let me see. Right. So at the moment, we haven't actually used the colors as a trigger array, but it could be where the chatbot will be triggered to have a response from those specific colors. So if we continue, we'll get to this thing called wildcards, and wildcards are shown with the asterisk. Such a weird word that I have trouble saying, asterisk, and it basically means that this asterisk can mean anything. So it can be multiple words after it. So because obviously we don't know, there are millions of names, billions of names in this world. So instead of trying to think about what these names could be, we're going to put a wildcard there. So this will say, my name is, and then the asterisk will hold, the star will hold whatever that the user inputs. So if I was to, let me refresh to clear it up. Now, if I'm going to say, my name's Yasmin. let's try a different one, I think. Right, so now, so it says nice name, my name is dot. So clearly there's a problem here where we have found where I think it has to be where we have to actually say something like *1. So let me try that. So my name let me take a look. I'm going to quickly take a look at the documentation because that's the best way to learn. So the good thing about Rivescript is that there is a lot of good documentation online there. So if we go onto here, now I want to look for why I'm not able to set the star properly. So the good thing about Rivescript as well is that there's quite a few different examples. So if we do, so I want to try to find, I can see the example that I want to use here is right here. And I'm going to take a look at why there seems to be a problem with my code. So that seems like it's correct. Okay. So it should be working properly. So I'm just going to try one more time.
Yasmin, sometimes I've had it doesn't always recognize asterisks as what they are. So what I've done before is copy paste the asterisks that's used on the Rivescript website.
Ah, okay.
It might, yeah, that might be it, but
let me try that out. Yeah, because I have noticed that as well, where it is a little bit temperamental. Let's see. So I'm saving that, and we'll be trying that out. So let's try that out again. All right. Let me take a look at a different example from the Rivescript website. So the asterisk, the star, is a wildcard for both letters and numbers. So because we probably only want our user to, their name is probably only has letters. So I think the best thing is if we want to have just letters, we do an underscore. So let's try to do an underscore. And then the star is just what we use as the wild card for everything. So let's try that out. Okay. Okay. So I'm actually going to copy and paste something straight from the Rivescript, and we'll take a look at perhaps what might be actually going wrong. Okay, so let's just try. Yeah, let's try this. Now, if we want to have just numbers, a number as a wildcard, we use the hashtag. I'm sure there's a different word for it, but I'm going to call it the hashtag. And so I'm going to make my name a number. So I'm just gonna save that. And I'm gonna say, my name is 12. And then, as you can see, it says star isn't a real name. So Rivescript makes it able to take the user input, and then you're able to hold that and use it as a response. And then if we try it again, maybe we'll get the different options. And like that, my name is, yeah. So we've got the number working. So if we try doing my name is star, let's see. My name is interesting. I'm just gonna check something whether we might. So we actually. So I realized the mistake is that we actually have one here, which is just already been done. I think perhaps Katie did it as when we were all sharing it. So let's take a look. So if I'm gonna take out the other name. So I'm just gonna comment that out. So like that. And let's try and see whether the passage that we already have will work out. So let's try it now. All right. Great. So because we were trying to get the name and we were trying to have the code done too many times, it wasn't really working properly. So now that we've got the name now stored in the chatbot. So now that we've got the name, there is another section where we actually try to use the name inside a different part of the interaction. So if you see here, there is a input which is excuse me, and then one of the responses is, did I offend your fragile ego? Get name. Now, because we had already assigned the name Yasmin to one of the stars, it can now be reused throughout the chat. So yeah, hope that makes a lot of sense to you guys. Now,
Yasmin, can I just ask something in that response? Now, what happens if the bot hadn't registered the username? What will it default to? What will it default to in this situation then?
I think let's actually try that, because I'm going to refresh and I'm just going to write excuse me, and let's see, because I think it just comes up as empty, but I don't know exactly.
Because that's cool, isn't it? If it's empty, that's fine.
Do you see that? It says undefined question mark. So that's quite funny. I quite like that as well, because it could, and you can also maybe trick the chatbot in saying I'm called, and then have a random name, and kind of trolling the chatbot.
I think really like fun. Almost sort of saying, okay, if the user doesn't provide a name, we call the user and then give it a number of names, person, or whatever it is, That's interesting.
That's definitely a great idea. Because I think it's possible to put that into an array of names that we can just randomly assign, like like
subhuman, yeah.
Cool. So as you can see, one of the other things that I wanted to go on before we start thinking about some ideas to add to Ingrid is that there there's this option in Rivescript to create topics where you can lock the user into a topic. Now, the tool made this topic called sorry. Now, if I just scroll down to this, now, basically what happens is, if the user swears at Ingrid, like says things like this, like, I hate you, you suck, this sucks, piece of shit, then Ingrid will say, you're really mean, I'm not talking again until you apologize. So if I say that, you suck. And then I've got another option which says, let me actually make that a topic. Topic equals sorry. So we do a curly bracket, and this means that it locks the user into a topic here. So if I try it again. And then now that I'm stuck in a topic, but the user doesn't really know that. So the user might keep on saying like, and then you can see here that now that we're stuck inside this topic, you'll see that we have this wildcard, which basically means if the user says anything at all, it will have all these options to say, such as, nope, not until you apologize, or that is so rude. Do you speak like that to all sentient entities? Or say you're sorry. Now, the only way the user can get out of this topic that the user's stuck in is if the user says sorry in any of its messages. So I'll keep on just talking, like, I don't care, ha ha ha. And then say you're sorry. Okay, sorry. And then the response is, it's okay, I'll forgive you. And then the most important part is then we make the topic equals random. So the topic is now put into something else. Now, because we only have one topic so far, which is something I'd love to expand on, is that now it'll just go on to the rest of the options. So it won't be stuck into having to say sorry to get out of it. So yeah, I thought this was a really wonderful little topic where, you know, if you offend Ingrid, you've got to grovel before you're allowed to continue talking to her and finding out to her, them, whatever. So yeah, I think that would be really awesome.
That's really cool.
To think about different sort of topics. So yeah, the last bit here is just a wild card for anything, to see that if the user says some stuff that we've not predicted in some sense and coded, then these are kind of the stock responses, such as, was I supposed to understand that? I'm sorry, you've just woken me up. What do you mean? So these are kind of the stock responses to say when we've not coded anything for that the user is saying. So as we grow, I think that, you know, there'll be so many more possibilities and ways to kind of keep it fresh and interesting to interact with Ingrid. So before we go on to kind of thinking about what we can add to it, I would love it to be a collaborative thing where I'm kind of coding and changing it up while you guys can give me some ideas and we can talk through them as well. I think that would be a really lovely thing to do. But before that, I was just wondering if you guys had any questions so far about Rivescript and about how it works. Anything that you want me to go over again? Cool. So if there's no questions, then I think it would be a really great idea to expand on the bot identity and get more input from the user to use later. And then I would love to have some theme-based greetings and questions, and also some more topics to have. It would be cool to lock a user into a topic perhaps we can lock the user into a topic about some of the guests that we've had the last couple of weeks. Maybe if the user says Tiga or Tiga Brain, then you can make the user stuck into this topic, talking about her and her work and how it relates to us. So do you guys think that's a good idea to start off with? That's just one idea that came to my head. So
I think yeah, that sounds like a good idea. If we sort of have some themes around our themes, really, some sort of conversations around it.
Yeah, definitely. So the syntax for creating a topic is quite simple. So I'm first going to do a plus, which is the user input. So let's say, how about we do something about our theme for this week, where we can think about. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to write what is shifting chronology, or what is this week's theme?
Yeah, that's generally a good one.
Yeah, what is this week's theme? And then I guess we can manually change it, like so shifting chronology. Looking at all the voices, let's say within me, and then and then we do curly bracket, and we do topic equals shifting chronology. Now, I'm not sure if it will work with 2 words being part of the theme, being part of a topic, but let's just test that out as we go and see whether chronology. Now, and then we end that with a topic at the end like that. So let's just do, if we do an asterisk, now so no matter what, so now after we've put the user into the topic saying shifting chronology, looking at all the voices within me, now the user can input anything, and let's try to maybe we can guide the user into different questions and into different areas of what we're thinking about. So we could let's first double check that our topic works with 2 words, because I'm really not sure about that. And I think I clearly see a problem, because because the bot isn't showing up, which means that, so I think it has to be a single line. So how about if I just literally put them together? It's not going to look pretty, but it should be something that works. So let me just double check. It might be because chronology.
Is it maybe sometimes where you just add 2 keywords together? Like there's a piece of code maybe where you can add 2 keywords together?
For the adding shifting chronology together.
Yeah, just maybe there's a piece of code that can be used to do that.
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure, but that's definitely something that we should take a look at. So yeah, is it working? Replies not sorted. So I'm just really curious. So I've got a JS problem with Rivescript JS problem. So I think that topic equals, this week's theme? Okay. So if I'm gonna actually take this off for 1 second. So I'm also a complete beginner with Rivescript. So it's something that we're going on an adventure together. Just want to check that. Now I think it's literally so the problem was there can't be any punctuation in this in the inputs. So it's going to have no punctuation, and then it should work. So if I take it back there, take it back. And then if I say something like, what is this week's theme? And then Ingrid says, shifting chronology, looking at all the voices within me. Too bad, I can't find any events right now. Maybe I can interest you in some art. Now, we've connected our chatbot to our event search function in WordPress. I don't know a ton about how that works, but I think this response comes out from that, where it's trying to look for events, but at the moment, there won't be anything connected. So we've got the beginning of this first theme of this topic. Now,
Yasmin, yeah? I've got a question now. If Ingrid says shifting chronology, is there a way Ingrid could deliver that as a link to bring up the theme, the post, or affect the filter function within our website? It's just a question. I wasn't sure whether you generally, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely possible, because we wanted Ingrid as well to have that search functionality as well with it. So yeah, my goal is that I want to get more into how it's connected with WordPress at the moment, but I definitely think it's possible for the Ingrid to respond with a link, or with perhaps possibly even changing the way that the web page looks because of what you decided. I think I would make it really interactive. Yeah, definitely. At the moment, I can't give you
that's okay.
Straight answer.
Just wondered.
Yeah, that's definitely something that
yeah,
be really good to get. Yeah.
But generally, if we were to now put a link into the outside, is that possible to put it into the script, like to a different website, for example, or whatever?
I don't know whether it can actually be hyperlinked properly, but it could be.
Okay, don't worry.
Yeah, so because I think from what I understand is that Rivescript is a little bit so-called dumb, because it's just putting in, it's like a dumb artificial intelligence, because it's just getting user input and response. But I definitely know that it can be connected to other things. So that's definitely a blind spot that I don't know very much about yet. But I do think it's possible to connect it to other functionalities. Yeah. So basically this topic, shifting chronology, will be stuck talking about things. So I'm just trying to think about some interesting responses. And I think the thing with us is that, if everyone in the residency contributed 5 lines or something that has their own quirkiness into it, then it would make Ingrid a lot more versatile, I think, and really interesting to interact with. So that's my goal here, is because sometimes I feel as if I'm just lost for ideas and words, and all it takes is just another different person to add to it. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a bit lost for ideas of what to write for this topic, but obviously we can make we could just say a bunch of different things, like we could say something a bit.
We could ask. I mean, obviously, we're going to have our ideation brainstorm later tonight, and we'll definitely link people to a document that you might want to set up where people could then contribute.
Yes, definitely.
But maybe we could, in the script just now, ask the user what their favorite platform is, or stuff like that. Network platform. I don't know.
Yeah. What is your favorite? So it's great. So and now let's also think about.
Or it's a communication tool, or something where we just bring it back to communication, because then we could maybe provide some really funny answers as well.
So we've got that. What is your favorite communication tool? And we can create maybe a list of like an array of the different tools. So let's actually try doing that right now, and let's see if that works.
Cool.
Like the greetings, we want the trigger array. So let's do array of tools, and I mean I can do messenger,
telephone,
telephone. Yeah, let's start simple. A telegram.
Telegram, yeah. There's also the app, obviously.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
No, but that's okay. Letter.
Yeah, letter.
Go like bring some really funny analog ones in. Well, it's not funny.
Yeah, I would love to.
Postcard.
Yeah. Letter. Postcard.
Face to face.
Face to face. Now, would that be like that?
Yeah, it's probably more
like
we can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be a difficult one to integrate. I don't know.
What else? I mean, Zoom.
Yeah.
The one.
Facebook. I mean,
yeah.
WhatsApp. I guess you would have to put them all in there.
Instagram.
Yeah.
We got a lot of the social media. Twitter, yeah, definitely. Now, so we've just started these tools, but obviously they can expand. So let's go down and see if we can. Let's go all the way down. So we've got what is your favorite communication tool? And then we've got plus, and then at tools. And we can let's have different responses, like, because it obviously, everyone has their own preferences about tools. So maybe Ingrid has preferences about what tools that Ingrid likes more than others, or maybe Ingrid is, because is Ingrid going to be positive towards whatever the user says, or maybe negative? So maybe like, let's just do something simple, just test something like, I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah.
And so let me save that. So let's see whether this shifting chronology topic is working so far.
Yeah.
So to get onto that, I'm just going to write, what is this week's theme? Ooh, shifting chronology. And then I'm going to be like, I don't really get it. What is your favorite communication tool? And let's say I write, Instagram, just for, so it does say this. And then, so this is just, it seems to just be a response that it looks like it's looking for something. So let's just ignore that for now. But so we've got the first response. And then let's make a couple, maybe some different more responses of the tools, like
I mean, you could say something personally, I'm going off grid, or I've been off grid this week.
I love that. I love that.
Something stupid.
Personally, I've been off grid this week. I like that.
Something stupid. My data allowance is used up.
Great. Cool.
Can you say that in 144 characters? I know. I don't know how that would work with the other ones. I'm not sure.
No, but let me write that down anyway. Yeah, because we want to interrogate what all of these inputs and responses mean in some way. We also want, we just adopt all of these ways. We adopt the square crop of the Instagram, and we adopt stories and things like.
Maybe we can have an emojis answer as well.
Yeah,
we can't use them in the tool, but.
So I think we can't use it in the user input.
Yeah.
That's what I understand.
I think so. Yeah.
So I'm going to try doing, maybe let's do an angry face. Cool. Let's try that out.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool actually. Some sort of weird.
Yeah, just like it looks like like it's garbled, like
Yeah. Make it longer. Put more in like hashtags, like so weird, garbledy stars, and exclamation. Cool.
So it's like English just bugging out. Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
So.
Now we have to wait for it to actually bring that answer.
Yeah. So it's interesting because we've kind of got to navigate to that answer. So let's write Twitter. Personally, I've been off grid this week.
And then what? If the user then goes, why?
Yeah.
What?
And then
then it would go back to that. Okay. That's
exactly. So that's because why will go under the wildcard. So what we could do is maybe we do a plus where it says why.
Yeah.
Why did you ask me that question about communication tools? So.
I mean, we could create that thing you did earlier where you forced the user to say sorry. Yeah. So we could create a loop like that within that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Why?
I don't know how.
Yeah. There's let me think. Why? Because you never think about these things.
Yeah. So hang on. So the why. So the user goes why because you said I've been off grid, or because my data allowance is used up or whatever, and then the user says why. So all those answers somehow need to fit with any of those.
Yeah. So exactly. So we're kind of crafting this conversation almost. Yeah. I live stream too much.
Because I'm boycotting all platforms. I don't know.
Let's see what the chat's saying. Yeah, because I'm boycotting all platforms. And then, we should also think about how does the user get out of this topic. So that's something that we should think about, because it will be stuck on just, obviously we're not going to stay with just communication tools. We'll also think about, how we'll have different arrays perhaps. But it will also be a good idea to think about how we can change the topic. And I think it will also be important to kind of like, it would be quite strange for the user to kind of enter the sorry topic when it's not actually said anything offensive. So that's something that also has to be thought about. But it could be really interesting because the user might be like, why am I being forced to apologize? You know, so that could be interesting because, you know, obviously we're making topic equals random, but maybe we can continue to push the user to different topics and different things. So
that's a nice idea.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys kind of understand that there is, even though it seems very simple and you know, the artificial intelligence is quite rudimentary, there's still a huge opportunity to craft all these little things. And I think as a group, we can all create different experiences with Ingrid.
I mean, this is where the Thai went really nuts, right? That Chatbot that went all of a sudden super racist, and then they had to take it down. And I think this is where all these scripts, I think, need to be just, I mean, ultimately, you need to just come up. You need to give it to so many different people to test and scrutinize. And yeah, you can build a really interesting application with it. But
yeah, and I think it's important is that, like, as you said, the prejudices get magnified in these kinds of applications and tools. And I think that, you know, we have to be aware of if we don't explicitly make something, if we don't explicitly make Ingrid to be kind or fair or something, like obviously it's multifaceted, but it's so easy to see how the human interaction can actually completely change and make the chatbot very different. It all depends. It does depend on the human interaction. I think that's what makes creating a chatbot so interesting, is that it literally has nothing to do with a robot.
Yeah,
it has all to do with us. And I think that's just saying, if you can also apply that to basically everything in technology.
I think it's a really interesting area, really, because on one level, I mean, you have to be very careful, especially in the times we're living in at the moment. So you have to be very careful with Ingrid's answers. But at the same token, if you get too soft and kind, etc., then Ingrid potentially gets quite boring as well. So it's a really fine line, and it needs everybody really to just be aware of the possibilities of how it could derail totally and be super offensive, especially in the times we're living in. But at the same time, it just needs scrutinizing, needs super playing with, needs to think through all the options and what causes these options we import could have, etc.
Yeah, exactly. Like as we're adding to Ingrid, we need to be acutely aware of where we're coming from and like what we're projecting onto the chatbot. Yeah, definitely. So
I also we've come to so many chatbots, which, I mean, that horrible, the Amazon example, when you're sort of trying to get something resolved and then you're in this horrendous loop, which you can't get out of. And, we all know what is a bad chatbot, but then we also know how complicated it is probably to do
a good one. Yeah, definitely. So I hope this has been a good introduction and demo of what our chatbot looks like so far, and the decisions we've decided to make. And as you can see, it's simple enough. We just get user input, and then we write the chatbot response. And we've got some things that we're working on, like topics and wildcards. So I hope that this can just be where you can where we can take off from this, and hopefully it's inspired some people to think about chatbots that they can make for themselves on different topics and have different personalities. So yeah, do you guys have any last questions?
Thanks.
Okay.
I'm all good. It was really enjoyable to have such a hands-on session, but also look at some of those areas where chatbots can become very offensive very quickly. And yeah, thank you for looking at it.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Great. Thanks, guys.
Bye.